Hello, everyone, or anyone. I was recently getting a bit tired of all the news that were very monotonous, as you might also probably notice. And I am not sure if it's a good time to start this, but I thought maybe it might be nice to check what else, except for some of the bigger news, is happening. So, as you might have guessed, I'm not gonna be focusing too much on the bad stuff that is happening now and that is probably on our mind a lot. Let's see what else is there. Maybe we can find something interesting. If anyone has any topic they would like to be mentioned, you can also let me know. I would love to get out of the bubble. I think we are all in a lot of bubbles, so it would be great to get a lot of different perspectives. Maybe we can do that here. That would be great. That's kind of the goal I have in mind for now, at least. So we'll see if that's even feasible. And to start with, I just have few news that I would like to go over with you guys. Maybe give my personal opinion. I cannot guarantee it. I'll try not to be offensive or anything. We all have our opinion on everything, and maybe we can discuss it also at some point, but for now I would prefer to just focus on giving you some news, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so let's start with the thing that is a bit connected to myself. Allergic. So you guess why this news might be important for me, and I'm guessing also for some of the other people if anybody watches it. And according to CNN, or in this case it's reported by CBS Baltimore, the allergy season will actually start earlier than normal, and climate crisis is blamed for that. How true that is, you would have to most likely go through the entire article that it's based on to check how they actually got that data. It is fairly reasonable if you asked me. By the way, I have background in biotech, so not really a climate thing, but let's move on. So the climate change is mostly proven. Whether it's the fault of humans or not is debatable, and I'm not gonna go into that because depending on how you view the data, on which scale, etc., you might come up with different conclusions. It is obvious that our activity produces some CO2, methane, and other gases, and that contribute to climate change. We also use the soil, use up the resources. That's all true. The question is how much impact that actually has, and I've read many articles that contradict each other, so I'm not gonna give you my opinion. It's a very polarizing topic, and I'm not sure if there's an answer that is 100% true, so I'm not gonna really go into that, and I also don't think that's the important part for this news. But the climate is changing. On average, it's getting a bit warmer in many places. In some you can get storms, and that is also the reason for that. I believe you can find a lot of articles describing how climate change affects the climate, obviously. But if the allergy season is gonna get longer and earlier, might be a good idea to consider some treatments. I'm starting to consider one myself because I'm a bit tired of taking the pills and everything and have runny nose for like a month or two. But definitely something to consider, and just, guys, get ready, get your pills, get your treatments, although treatments take a few years, so might be a bit too late to avoid the one this year, but hey, maybe next one. So that's my opinion. I will of course link the articles that I show you now in the description, so you can check it and read it fully. I don't think there's much reason for me to just go there and read the entire article. You guys go ahead and do that if you want to. I'm just here to give you the main topic, what is probably gonna happen or what the news is, and you can check the details. If you would like for me to actually read it and give you my thoughts as I read it, we can also do it that way. I'm not sure what would be the best right now. It's a first video after all, so it will be shitty, but hey, you can shit on it as much as you want and just let me know. Maybe like some constructive criticism will always be good. But with that in mind, climate change, it's real, by the way. Whether it's our fault or not is debatable, so you know, you can flame me all you want for that, but I'm fairly confident with that statement. Get your allergy pills, guys. You probably noticed, at least I've noticed, that every year I'm actually getting worse and worse allergies, so it's not really that surprising, to be honest. But hey, let's get out to some maybe tech news, because why not? Here we go. Google domains finally out of beta after over 7 years. Huh. That kind of reminds me of all of those early access games on Steam that never get out of early access and they are constant alpha or beta. Sounds like something, but at least they came out of it, so yay for Google. They are only one of the biggest companies, so probably money is tight. Well, of course I know there are different things with that. I can still have my opinion and I can judge them. That's my free speech right, after all. So what is Google Domains? As you can see here in the article, it's a domain registration service. So basically you can register your domains. For not tech savvy people, Google wants it to work nice and fast and make it easy, you know, and also get your data. Oh my goodness, that was a very weird noise. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I have those weird offshoots of my sanity from time to time. So yeah, if you want domains, hey, grab it. If you're I don't know, Shopify dropshipper, you have your store on Shopify or wherever. What else is there? Etsy, I believe, right? Hey, maybe you can get a domain from Google. Why not have a Google site? Me myself, I also like SharePoint sites from Microsoft, to be square with you guys, so that might also be an option if you don't like Google. But if you don't like Google, you probably don't like Microsoft either. Oh, by the way, I really like this final thought of the article, is that even Gmail wasn't in beta for that long. I actually honestly don't remember for how long Gmail was in beta. I think I made an account with Gmail when it was beta. That was a long time ago. And I think for the first years I didn't even use it. I was using some other shitty clients, and then I moved to Gmail. Right now I'm also using a bit of Outlook. That's also nice, to be honest. They're not that different as you would think they are. Unless you're using Outlook desktop, then of course it's a bit different. To each its own. Let's not judge, but hey, you can write whether you prefer Gmail, Outlook, or something else. What is Proton Mail, I believe, is thought to be secure, but I think they had some security breach, so maybe not as secure. Not sure though, that's just me rambling, so there's much more opinions of mine than I thought that will be in this recording. Oh well, happens. No. So get your domains, guys. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. It's just a fun thing to say. And now for another topic, let's get to some politics, or, well, I don't know how to call it, but it is involved in politics, so let's get to that. I mean, the moment I saw this title, I just laughed to myself a bit, but I'm not surprised. I mean, people are saying weird shit when they're speaking, and I don't know, it's not up to me to say whether Biden's train of thought is so fast that he says things out of order, or if it's so slow that he just says anything to hide it. Up to you, let me know. But now it seems like Kamala Harris might be married to Biden or something. Well, I mean, he called her first lady, so maybe he should have a very, very important talk with his wife. Maybe she doesn't know about some plans that Joe has. I don't know. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm that cringy all the time. That's just how I am. Deal with it. But there we go. The vice president is a first lady. I mean, that's kind of House of Cards scenario a bit. But, well, whatever floats Joe's boat. Hoping I'm not gonna get flagged for that. But hey, who cares? There we go. I will read a bit. I find it funny, but I mean, you're a president. You can make mistakes, of course. Like every president makes mistakes. But makes you wonder what Joe thinks of Kamala. Does he realize she's a vice president? Was it just an honest mistake where he just confused the terms? I can see that happening. I mean, first lady sounds also quite important. right? And Kamala is a woman, Joe is fairly old guy. Maybe he's old-fashioned despite what he claims, so maybe, you know, he doesn't realize that a woman can be vice president, that they can only be first ladies. Who am I to judge? Might be an honest mistake, might be something wrong with his cognitive sense. Not up to me to decide. I'm not a psychologist, so I'll leave that for you guys. Flame me if you think that Joe is the greatest president that there was. Flame me if you think he's the worst. I mean, after all, I'm in the middle. Well, don't know if exactly in the middle, but try to be. You know, you can only strive to be objective, but you will never be, because if you're unconscious bias, read about it. That's kind of interesting topic. You know, a lot of things that you might consider that you're very objective about are mostly not. The whole story of Joe Biden calling Kamala a first lady is, as you can read here, is the fact that Kamala's husband tested positive, even though she doesn't seem to be having any symptoms and her result is negative. I guess Joe just wanted to announce the news and, well, made an honest mistake, right? Any Joe can do that. This one just happens to be president. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Of course, you can read the article. It's not very lengthy, and there's more pictures than text in my opinion, but hey, whatever. And I know it's on Fox News, and many people think that they are very, very right-leaning. I mean, I don't care. They're just mentioning what he said. You don't have to agree with whatever thing they say. I mean, I also check some left-leaning media, and I just do it for the news, and I try to check whether or not they're right or wrong. With this one, I don't think there's much to argue. I mean, he said what he said, and that's just it. And now let's go to some finance news, crypto news, climate-related thing. It really got me interested, the title, because here they don't claim that mining Bitcoin and operating the entire blockchain of Bitcoin causes energy problems, uses a lot of energy. What they focus on is actually explaining why it is hard to fix. And that's something that is also important to take, because Bitcoin uses the network, Ethereum, all of those chains. They are using quite a bit of electricity, yes. They are also very innovative solutions to many problems, and well, whether they shape the future or not, we'll see about that. It depends on many regulations. I think just yesterday, well, I'm recording this on 16th of March, so I think it was on 15th or 14th of March 2022. EU didn't pass a bill that was supposed to make Bitcoin illegal or something like that, so it's still legal in Europe. That's a good sign for all of you crypto lovers. Hey, rejoice, have some party for, you know, your gains. Remember to take them. In all of my investments, I'm really bad at taking my profits, but hey, whatever, I'm an idiot after all. So let's get a bit more in depth with that. First point, this article is very nice. It has just bullet points, and you can always go and search for more details on it, but I like articles that have a little bit of substance to them, but it's quite condensed. You can get the main points and go on with your life, you know, watching your Netflix. So the first thing is how much power is involved. You can see here it's 6.6 terawatt hours at the start of 2017, but it has increased to 138 terawatt hours in 2022, which, well, that's quite substantial, don't you think? Especially that according to some estimates, Bitcoin itself, the mining of Bitcoin, produces 114 million tons of CO2. Wow. Okay. As you can see, it's also comparable to the emissions of Belgium. Belgium is not a big country, but it is a country. Okay. Like, it's still quite a lot. I'm not gonna be talking too much. Why does it need energy? I mean, you need to get those blocks done, right? You need some processing power to get through those calculations. Now, are miners trying to lower their carbon footprint? They claim yes. I would argue with that. What miners want to do is they want to use the cheapest source of electricity for them to get the highest return on investment. And since you cannot really have your own coal or gas or nuclear power plant, so the best you can do as a citizen, like just a regular old Joe, not Biden, just Joe, you can get your solar panels or wind turbines, just make an investment. You will also pay less electricity for your home utility in many of the countries, and mine Bitcoin for an app. So in that sense, yeah, you could say you're reducing your carbon footprint, although it is still debatable because recycling of all those solar panels after those 20 something years is actually not so great for our environment. So, debatable. And in that sense, yes, they will be reducing carbon footprint, but the drive is not to be good for environment. The drive is to get your costs as low as possible to make as much money as you can. And what I love is the question, is the emission falling? Hard to tell. Yes, we know that China has banned Bitcoin mining I think in all of the country now, but that doesn't mean that those people didn't just move away. Plus China produces so much emissions either way. Did it help? As they say, hard to tell. Totally agree. Like 95% I agree with that statement. Now you can read about what are the governments doing. In my opinion, most of governments are not really prepared to do anything substantial. You have a lot of governments in many countries just banning, or not really banning, but reducing the nuclear power production, which is actually not that great for environment because nuclear power is fairly clean. Yes, you have the waste and all that, but it's not as bad as many people might think, and it's very efficient. Hell, if we're able to get, for example, thorium nuclear reactors, geez, that would be great. They're so much better and cheaper also. Well, they will be cheaper when the technology is done. So that's something that is very, very difficult topic to talk about. Now, according to the article, the concern about all the CO2 emissions our climate has actually impacted crypto market. But then they say that they present the example that Tesla bought buttloads of Bitcoin in 21, and that was the catalyst for Bitcoin. But mostly what it did, it pumped the Bitcoin quite nicely and it dropped as shit, at least to my memory. I didn't check it now. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was a pump and then March or April, right? I think it was April that just dropped as crazy. I mean, it was the same with when Musk said that Dogecoin will be accepted in Tesla, and the Dogecoin just went through the roof. He made buttloads of money, then he sold it before it crashed, and yeah, I mean, that's a good business for him, obviously. Whether Bitcoin stays the dominant crypto, not for me to say. I really don't know. Something to check. I mean, there are many other blockchains that are either more efficient or have some nicer utilities, so Bitcoin might just stay as a sort of like the gold equivalent in the crypto market. They're just there. I mean, gold is nice and all, but hey, like maybe instead of hoarding it, use it for electronics. It's more useful that way. But yeah, it's just my ramblings. So those were the main news that I had for you guys. I was rambling a lot through that. I'm thinking about maybe actually reading the articles with you guys and give less of my mumbling. Maybe that will be a bit more entertaining and actually more informational. I just wanted to try making a video. I'm getting a bit annoyed with all the news being very monotonous, and actually I've noticed that I am closed in some bubble, especially on YouTube. Jesus, they are bad at proposing new content. It's crazy. And I don't know what to look for myself that much because I'm a lazy person, like most of people. Yeah. So if you guys have some, hell, even conspiracy theories, sure, hit me with that. I would love to see them and maybe dissect them or something. That would be interesting.